Curtis, how you feeling?
What's up, Bum? What's up?
You know, we out here. We outside. We're at T-Mobile getting ready for the third game of this series, and we're excited. And it's crazy how things change so quickly.
Truly.
Game 1, 2-0.
Flush that one.
You know, you got Logan on the mound, 10 Ks. The bats can't get going, and then we're like, okay, Woo's been having a good year. He's going to come around and do his thing. He does exactly that. Gives up, one hit through 7, one run. One hit through 7, and it looked pretty dang good. But it was about the offense this time around, specifically Mr. Cal Raleigh himself. Before I get your analysis of all this, let's just listen to what Riz would call this grand salami, cut number 1.
Here's the set. And Buehler delivers, swing and a high drive deep to right field. Anthony going back to the warning track near the wall. It is grand salami time. Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out that rye bread and mustard and make another sandwich. Cal Raleigh with a grand slam here in the bottom half of the second. Clears the bases. His 27th home run of the season. He takes over the lead in home runs in the American League over Aaron Judge, number 27, and it gives the Mariners a 5-0 lead over the Red Sox, all 5 here in the bottom of the second.
You know what's unfair about that whole situation?
What's that?
Is that I expected him to hit that grand slam. For me to expect Cal Raleigh to hit that grand slam isn't fair, but that's just how well he's playing this year.
He is there to save you every single time you need him, and that's rare from any kind of player, and it's rare from any kind of player throughout like this franchise's history. You know, you can only think of maybe like 4 or 5 guys that have ever kind of had that ability to do that in that moment. You think of obviously Ken Griffey Jr., who was so clutch in his years here in Seattle. You know, Nelson Cruz was another guy like that who would come through time and time again. Cal Raleigh is there among that group of just tremendously clutch dudes. And what was great about that home run bump is that for now a few times on this short homestand, the Mariners have won a game where you didn't really have to sweat it out. You did not have to pace back and forth in the 9th inning. You didn't have to play, the matchup game late into the game. I think back to Sunday's game when JP hit the grand slam. That was a nice breath of fresh air because we had talked about it on last week's show, how it had been so long since the Mariners had actually won a game in a comfortable way. They didn't have to claw and scratch their way through, 9, 10, 11, 12 innings, back and forth, coming down to the last at-bat. I think, that Twin series where they won the final 2 games of that series in walk-off fashion. You haven't seen that a lot on this homestand, sweeping Cleveland in the way that they did. Obviously, they did get the walk-off on Saturday night, Jorge Polanco hitting that single back up the middle, knock over my water bottle here. But
you're excited.
But for the most part on this homestand, you have won games in ways that you haven't done so for a few weeks now, and I think that's been the most encouraging thing to me.
Yeah, it feels good to give your pitcher, especially a guy like Woo, some run support, man. I think that's been the issue in some of these games, but that wasn't the issue last night. Like I mentioned, Cal was 1 hit away from the cycle. Here's a double, cut 2.
He deals. Swung on, ripped on the first baseline, fair ball going to the corner. Cole Young scores easily. Here's JP around third. He's going to trot home. Cal steaming into second. He's got a double. What a night for Cal Raleigh. 3 hits. He's driven in 6. And the Mariners have exploded. It's 7-0 M's over the Red Sox. The year of Cal Raleigh continues.
And he stole a bag.
He did. Were you a little disappointed when he came up? I think it was in the 6th inning. They were up 8-0 with 2 runners on. Did you think he was going to go yard there, too?
I did. And it's unfair for me to
9
think
RBIs.
that. Yeah, it's unfair. Like, stop that, Michael. I need to.
Disappointed in a 6 RBI game.
Right? You should have done more. Should have done more, Cal. But, no, it's fun to see him time after time just come up with big hit after big hit. And it kind of overshadowed Young Man Woo. Young Man Woo was on that mound, and he was in full command, man. That 4-seam was looking good. Those secondary pitches were on point, and he did a great job. It's cut number 3.
Ryan into the motion. Here's the 3-2. Strike 3 called, sizzled in 95 right at the bottom of the zone, and Brian Woo is dominating tonight against the Red Sox. 6 innings of 1-hit ball. He has not allowed a run. He has been dynamite.
And I love when Woo's in the zone because he'll hit 96, 97, and it looks like he's barely trying to throw the ball. It's just he got so much pop coming off of his hand. And once you see these guys chasing those high risers, man, you know he's in his groove. He's hitting his spots.
Yeah, and last night just made such quick work of that Red Sox lineup. And when I look at this pitching staff bump, over the last about 2 weeks or so, we have seen guys look their very best. George Kirby, that start he made against the Angels, striking out 14 guys. We've never seen Kirby do that. And, I mean, very rarely do pitchers strike out that many guys in a game. And he looked phenomenal in that one. Brian Wu last night, he was at his very best. Emerson Hancock on Sunday was at his very best. Logan Gilbert, first start coming back from the IL. I don't know if you can necessarily say that it was his best because he still has, obviously a little bit of rust coming back from the injury, but striking out 10 guys. We'll talk about it a little bit coming up later in the hour, but this pitching staff starting to get healthier again, and you're starting to see guys get a little more comfortable out there. You're starting to see them reach that ceiling that I think a lot of us kind of have come to expect from this pitching staff that we haven't necessarily seen over the season's first couple of months here. But Brian Wu getting that start that he had last night, just giving up the one hit over 7 innings, I think that is going to go a long way because you look at his previous 6 starts coming into last night, he had allowed more runs each time out in those 6 starts than he did last night. So he allowed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in consecutive starts. That's what his earned run total was in those starts. And it was kind of getting to a point where it's like, okay, these run totals are going up and up and up.
Right.
Is this an alarm bell that needs to go off or what's going on here with Brian Wu? But last night settled things down, looked like the Brian Wu that we have come to expect over the season's first couple of months. And the Brian Wu who I think, just a couple of weeks ago, we were saying, this is your ace.
Yeah.
This is your guy. And a performance like that last night, further evidence as to what he can be when he is on.
It's so nice to see these guys get back to what we're used to, right? Starting the season, it was about this rotation. They struggled with the injuries, but now we've seen Kirby have a good start. Wu had a good start, and then you've seen Walter on the mound doing his thing as well. And also, let's go on the other side. It's nice to see these guys get back to who they used to be when it comes to swinging the bats, hitting bombs. It was only, 12 home runs in the month of June, which is kind of down from where they were at this point last month. So, yes, it's nice to see the pitching be on point, the bats be on point at the same time. But, man, it's all about this young man named Cal Raleigh. And cut number 5, Dan Wilson speaks on what he's doing.
What can you say about Cal? It's been unbelievable, and he's been unbelievable. 6 RBIs tonight. Just seeing the ball really well. Triple short of the cycle. Just continuing to find barrels and get big hits for us, drive in big runs, and to catch a shutout to boot. Just a really, really nice night for Cal all around.
Aggressive on that grand slam, too. That was the first pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, he ambushed him.
Yeah.
You love to see that. You love to see that, and you love to see Cal Raleigh every day in the lineup, and he's going to be back in the lineup today. It looks like he's going to be starting DH today. Mitch Garver getting the start behind the dish, but it's to a point bump where we're always kind of like, oh, can he play 162? Well, he did. I think he did eventually have a full day off recently. But you need that bat in your lineup every single day. And good to see him again back out there at DH today. But the common knock on his offensive profile coming into this season was that he was not a guy that would hit for average. And he was a guy that was just kind of a 3 true outcome player, home run, walk, strikeout. And he is still generating a lot of walks and strikeouts, and that aspect of his game still exists. But the batting average is up near, 260 right now.
Yep.
The OPS is up near 1,000. I mean, his WRC plus is ridiculous. His OPS plus is absurd. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he could, with a great second half, could still threaten in the MVP race. I don't think it is cut and dry Aaron Judge right now, even if Judge still finishes with 50-plus home runs. I mean, what Cal is doing, I think the Mariners would not be in the position they're in right now without him, whereas without Aaron Judge, I still think the Yankees are a pretty decent team.
Yeah, agreed. Cal makes this thing go. I was listening to the Brock and Salk show on the drive-in, And it's official, right? We're making that transition. This team goes as Cal goes. And in the past, it was this team goes as Julio goes. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think you lean on whoever is equipped and ready for the moment, and it seems like Cal is that. I'm okay if Julio is the number 2 guy. I think that he's more than capable, and that takes some pressure off of him. Here's Cal talking about being able to pull the ball. Cut 7.
I wouldn't say I'm trying to pull the ball in the air. I think I'm just trying to, have good at-bats, stay within myself, and, trying to, avoid the bigger, bigger gaps of, not doing well. Just trying to stay consistent and trying to have that baseline of, what I'm trying to do up there. And I think also, just focusing more on, my approach and what I'm trying to do rather than what the pitcher's trying to do. So sometimes we can get caught up in everything they're trying to do and their pitches and locations, and, we forget about what we're trying to accomplish. And I think that's kind of the difference.
It seems like a real simple approach.
Right.
He just seems so calm and collected in what he's trying to accomplish.
He simplified things. And Bump, I like that point you brought up about how it's Cal's team now. And anybody who watches Mariners baseball can see that. And I like that you brought up how this could benefit Julio, too, in that it takes more pressure off of him to be that superstar to save the day every single day. The dynamic between Julio and Cal reminds me of a guy who has blossomed into a Hall of Fame caliber player and a teammate of his that when he came up had more fanfare coming into the league. I'm going to take us back to the Atlanta Braves. I want to say in like 2010 or something like that. They called up 2 big-time prospects, Jason Hayward, who was the number 1 prospect in baseball at the time, and carved out a really nice career for himself, made a lot of money, won a World Series with the Cubs, won a few Gold Gloves. Never truly became the player that I think a lot of people had hoped he would become, and not to say that Julio is not going to reach the levels that we are hoping he will in his career. I mean, he's only 24 years old, but the other guy that came up with Jason Hayward at the time was Freddie Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
And Freddie Freeman was a first baseman, like great hitter. People viewed him as kind of like a 20 to 25 home run guy, would hit like 280 to maybe 300. He didn't profile as really a super duper star player. Fast forward to 2025 now, and Freddie Freeman is probably going to the Hall of Fame. He is one of the great first basemen of his era, has one of the most iconic postseason moments in baseball history last year with the walk-off grand slam, has won a World Series with the Braves, won one with the Dodgers, is an MVP, has done everything that you could do in baseball. I don't know if that's necessarily where Cal ends up, but the sort of us focused on Julio so much in the start of his career, and then we kind of forgot that, oh wait, Cal is really, really good in his own right, and now he's strapped himself to a rocket ship and has entered this level of not just stardom here in Seattle. I think it's very fair to say that Cal Raleigh is the face of Seattle sports at the moment, but he's becoming a known commodity, not just here in Seattle, but across Major League Baseball. I mean, you look at the All-Star voting, second in the AL to Aaron Judge. That's not nothing. I know we all kind of, All-Star votes, you can vote for anybody you want, but the guys who are the faces of the league, those are the ones that get the most votes. And Cal, second most behind Aaron Judge in the AL. I think that speaks to just how big of a star he's becoming.
Yeah, ain't like he's sneaking in that thing. You know, people know who he is. He's getting the votes and the recognition. And, yes, it's been fun to watch. So, Cal and the gang, you guys keep it rolling and get it done today. Please. Do you know a woman who gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. Together, we want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Awards are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org before the deadline. Let's get the headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
The Florida Panthers repeat as Stanley Cup champions last night after blowing out the Oilers in Game 6. What's the real headline?
Real headline, any day now, that lack of state income tax will start to benefit the Kraken. That's what people were saying about the Panthers. Are you kidding me?
Come on, man.
They have built themselves into a juggernaut. 3 straight Eastern Conference titles, 2 straight Stanley Cups. I mean, they are the model franchise in the NHL right now.
And the Oilers are just outmanned. I mean, you look at the Oilers' top 2 players, Draisaitl, I'm sorry, I'm jacking his name. Draisaitl, and McDavid. They can play on any team.
Right.
But you look at line 1, 2, and 3 of the Panthers, and it's like they just never ease up. They're getting shots on goals. They're applying pressure. They're patient, moving the puck around. They're in their zones. I'm watching the game, and it's masterful. You don't have to even know hockey just to feel the efficiency of that Panthers team. I wanted Connor McDavid to get one 2 years in a row. This guy, the question for him now is, do you stay? Do you stay in Edmonton?
I heard ESPN Steve Levy kind of float the idea of like, hey, is this where McDavid finished his career? Because clearly they have not been able to get over the hump. But I mean, look, you're going up against a dynasty in the Panthers. You just kind of have to tip your cap at that point. But I think it was John Butchergross who was on maybe with us a couple weeks ago where he said, like, every great player in the NHL has a Stanley Cup. Like, it's going to happen. And I think it was Matthew Tkachuk for the Panthers last night that said, like, he's going to win one. Like, we need to stop worrying about it. A player that good will eventually become a champion. I kind of wonder now, like, where does McDavid fall on the list of athletes without a ring? Like, who is under the most pressure? It's like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I bet Connor McDavid's definitely within the top 5 of that list. Aaron Judge, he doesn't have a ring, right? I would say those 4 probably leading the way right now in terms of ringless athletes.
He's got to be right up there. Let's experience the Stanley Cup final call, cut number 10.
The fans rise here in Sunrise, Florida.
Back to back for the Cats.
15 seconds. Gustav Forsling holds. The Panthers begin to celebrate. Panther perfection. The Florida Panthers win their second consecutive Stanley Cup.
That was fun to watch. I have one gripe about the end of that game.
What do we got?
Every player grabs the cup and does a lap with it.
Yeah.
Every player. I mean,
are you worried about germs?
I applaud. No, I don't. And they're kissing it too. You do your thing, right? I applaud the patience of the crowd. Everyone stayed and watched every player do his lap. I knew that happened. But last night it hit kind of different. I go, man, this is going to take like 30 minutes to get through this.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody gets their own day with the cup, too.
Everybody gets it, man. It's a beautiful thing. Great job. I think this is probably the most fun I had watching NHL playoffs was this year.
This is really special.
Headline rewrites.
Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton has been diagnosed with a strained right calf, and his status for Thursday's game is to be determined. What's the real headline?
Real headline, I think we can determine that he's going to play in a winner-go-home game 6.
He's got to play. At least try to play. You got to go out there and not be able to walk or run, especially when you went 0 for 6 your last game.
Do a Willis Reed.
Come on,
where
man.
he just is like limping from the tunnel, plays like 2 minutes, gets a bucket or 2, and then goes and sits back down. Hopefully that's the lift that he's able to give it to Steve. No, I mean, gosh, the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton, they wouldn't be in this spot without him. But you're kind of wondering, like, is he a benefit to this team playing at? I mean, gosh, he didn't make a single field goal in Game 5.
Didn't.
I would say he's playing at, what, 50%?
50 to 60, something like that.
And they do have a decent bench in Indiana. Now, it's a collective effort off the bench. It's not just one guy doing what Halliburton does, but it just seems like it seems like it's inevitable that OKC is going to win this series, especially with Halliburton being out. I saw too, that the road that OKC has taken to get to the finals, they played Memphis in the first round. John Morant got hurt. They played
Cleveland?
No, they played in the Western Conference Finals. It was somebody else who got hurt. And then Tyrese Halliburton gets hurt. Like the best player on each team that they've faced in the playoffs has gotten hurt.
OKC?
Yeah.
Really?
So people are kind of like, okay, is this team as good as they are?
Is
They're
it-
pretty good.
Are they going to talk about this the same way they talk about my Lakers bubble championship?
No.
The Mickey Mouse championship is what they call it. I love Disneyland. I'll take a Mickey Mouse championship whenever we can.
Headline rewrites.
Ahead of his San Francisco debut last night, Rafael Devers said he's open to playing anywhere the Giants need him. What's the real headline?
Real headline, this is just how everyone acts when starting a new job. It's like, yeah, I'm totally open to working weekends and nights and everything. Yeah,
Super helpful.
Absolutely.
Whatever you need.
I will gladly do that.
Man, this is I like this. I like the cattiness about this. I like the drama. He's like, look, I'm in a new place. I got to make new friends. I got to come in and have people like me. I'm going to do whatever this team asks me to do. But here's the difference also. Maybe the Giants, as soon as they acquired him, already had that conversation and were wide open with him and said, look, this is what we see. Whereas the Red Sox kind of, messed with his feelings a little bit. Said, no, you'll be good. Actually, we need you here. Actually, we need you there. And I think the communication might have been off. So maybe they're just getting off on the right foot.
I think so. I think, when you acquire a player of that caliber, you want to make him feel as welcome as possible. And he looked really comfortable swinging at Oracle Park there with the 2 hits. He had that RBI double in his first at-bat. Crowd going crazy there. But, it did look a little weird seeing him in Giants colors because, it's such a stark contrast to what we're seeing in front of our eyes here this week with the Red Sox in town. But I think the Giants have been able to see what the Red Sox got wrong in all this, and they're like, oh, he just wants to be treated. He wants to be talked to like a normal person. He doesn't want to be viewed as like an asset, and so they're able to make him feel a little more welcome in the Bay Area.
It's all about communication. And when you go to a new spot, you get a new pep in your step, you feel rejuvenated. Maybe that's what he's feeling. I cannot wait for the drama to unfold. Yesterday, I think we all predicted he goes yard. So go ahead and get it done at Oracle. The 2025 MLB All-Star ballot is open, and Cal, Julio, JP, and the crew need your help to secure a spot at this year's Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. You can vote up to 5 times per day, every day through June 26th at MLB.com/vote. How good can this pitching staff be? Guys are getting healthy. We're seeing Kirby ball out. Castillo's on the mound today. Great performance from Wu last night. We'll talk about the potential of this staff next.
Breaker, howdy out there. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out that rye bread and mustard and make another sandwich. Cal Raleigh with a grand slam.
Another big night for the Big Dumper. Today, the Mariners look to close out the homestand with a series win over Boston. First pitch at 1:10, pregame at noon on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with no credit financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment needed, and financing is available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar tonight at 6 to explain how stem cell therapy works.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join him tonight at 6 for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Church's Chicken is bringing even more flavor to the neighborhood with our Bremerton location, and we can't wait to share what we've been cooking up. So stop by and try our bold, juicy, flavor-to-the-bone fried chicken with all our only at Church's Fixins. Yeah, your newest fave is waiting with unbeatable deals and unmistakable crunch right here at the Church's Chicken in Bremerton on 4000 Wheaton Way. That's right. Come on down. Friends, family, and neighbors welcomed at 4000 Wheaton Way in Bremerton. See you soon. Church's.
Do you have a car you'd like to sell but don't want to go through all the hassle? With all the scams and security risks out there, more and more people are uncomfortable selling their own car. So how do you get the most money for your used car without selling it yourself? Stacy here with the answer. Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your car and pay you right up front for it, but it gets way better. Once they resell your old car, they share half the profit with you. The question I get most from my friends and colleagues is, what's the catch? And how can they offer this? It's super simple. All the money they save by not traveling to buy cars at auctions, like purchase fees, shipping, and travel expenses, is what allows them to offer this. They'd rather share that money they save with you than outside vendors. They encourage you to shop around, but if Wayscar Ford can pay you the same or more as their competitors and then share half their profit with you once they resell your car, why would you sell your car anywhere else? They've already shared over $800,000 with customers, and it's only at Wayscar Ford. That's wayscarford.com, Wayscar Ford in Auburn.
It's the Graz here for my friends at Premier Golf. Take advantage of early sunrise and late sunset at the 11 different Premier courses today. From Bellingham, Everett, and Marysville to Linwood, Bellevue, and Seattle, even out on the coast, they've got a course near you. Play Inner Bay or Jackson, Bill Wright or West Seattle, Bellevue, Legion Memorial, Walter Hall, Linwood, Cedar Crest, Lake Patton, and even Ocean Shores. Courses are in great shape and ready for your next round. Visit PremierGolfCenters.com, that's PremierGolfCenters.com, and book your tee time today.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This rotation is getting healthy. We've been talking about them all morning, at least for the first segment. We mentioned the performance last night from Wu, looking good. Kirby on the mound, 14 Ks the last time we saw him. We saw Logan Gilbert on the mound, 10 Ks, the 7th time he's reached double digits when it comes to that department. And we're starting to feel good about this rotation. We're worried for a little bit, Curtis. We're worried. We're like, hey, man, did we miss the window? I mean, what does this team have to do? But over the past week or so, what have you seen?
I've seen a lot of good. A lot more good than bad, for sure, coming out of the starting pitchers. And I think the thing that is the most encouraging for this pitching staff is what we have seen out of, I would say, the guys who we kind of thought were the back end of the rotation at the start of the year have definitely shown the ability to stabilize things. Brian Wu, we all kind of assumed was going to be, the number 5 starter this year. And with Bryce Miller's injury going down and Logan Gilbert going down and George Kirby going down, the Mariners needed somebody to step up in their absence. And that's what Wu did for the season's first couple of months. And then, last night he was fantastic. But also, Emerson Hancock, outside of like 2 innings this season, has been really, really good. And what we saw from him on Sunday, 7 shutout innings, tying his longest start in his major league career, only allowing the 2 hits to Cleveland's lineup, didn't let a runner get to second base. What more could you ask from him? Bump, you look at this rotation right now, you've got Hancock pitching the best that he has ever pitched at the big league level. Brian Wu coming off a great start last night. George Kirby looking like his old self. Luis Castillo has been, I wouldn't say he has been dominant this season, but he's definitely been the most reliable pitcher from the start of the season to where he is right now. Has been just kind of the same pitcher all the way through, which is a really good pitcher still. So this starting rotation, after a lot of question marks for the last couple of months, you're starting to definitely see things come into a much clearer picture now.
Yeah, it's starting to look like the rotation we knew and loved from the last couple of seasons. And Tim Kirchin was on with Wyman and Bob yesterday, and he has some great things to say about the ceiling of this rotation. Cut number 11.
Let's say Bryce Miller gets really hot and starts to throw the way that everyone knows he can. Now you got Logan Gilbert back also. Andrew Kirby's back. He had a 0 walk, 14 strikeout game recently. You add those 3 guys at the top of their game, especially Bryce Miller, who's one guy with, again, overpowering stuff. Suddenly that Mariner pitching staff can take on anybody, which we all knew it could. It just really hasn't happened yet. So it's hard to tell a Mariner fan to be patient, but be patient. You got to think this starting rotation is going to get a whole lot better, and Bryce Miller is a part of that.
All right, so I'm going to connect this clip with this next clip because it's important that guys are getting healthy. This rotation is looking good because of what Tim is going to say here in cut number 12.
I just don't know how, if you're a couple games, under or over 500 and you're a couple games out of the wild card, I just don't see how you can give up in this day and age at the end of July and say we're not going to make it to the playoffs. You have to try, which leaves basically the Rockies and the White Sox, just a few, the Marlins, maybe the Orioles, just a few other teams that are going to be, willing to give up players at the deadline as opposed to try to acquire them. It's going to be a really interesting run.
So he's pretty much saying, look, there's not going to be a lot there at the trade deadline. There are a lot of teams who still feel like they are in the mix. So what needs to be at its best? It's your rotation. Also, you got to see the bats going as well. We saw that yesterday. But it's important that you build off of that. Kind of, I guess, not change the subject, but go on a different angle. What do you need to see today?
What do I need to see today from this team, specifically from the pitching? I would love to see at least 6 innings from Luis Castillo. I think that would be a huge thing for the bullpen, to just keep everybody healthy. You've got the off day tomorrow, so to give this bullpen some extra rest would be great. But getting back to that Kirkjian cut where he says there's not going to be a lot of options at the deadline for teams that are buyers, I look at this Mariners team right now, Bump, and their best pitching trade assets right now are Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock. At the beginning of the season, if you had told me, if the Mariners are where they're at right now, 37-35, 4.5 back in the American League West, without any context, I would have said, okay, yeah, you need to start thinking about trading Emerson Hancock or Logan Evans. With the context and the knowledge that we have of this season right now, I don't want either of those guys involved in a trade because, as we have seen, starting rotations can be very fickle. And it is so hard to go through 162 and have those guys make every single start that they are asked to do. Heck, even last year, Emerson Hancock still made, I believe it was 10 starts at the major league level. It's so rare for a group of 5 guys to go through without any sort of significant injury. So That's why I'm saying Emerson Hancock and Logan Evans, I would not touch them if I were the Mariners right now in any sort of trade. And I think also the reason why I wouldn't touch them in a trade is because you still have, even without those two guys, one of the best farm systems in baseball.
Right.
And you have enough assets, and we've heard from a lot of people that said the assets that the Mariners currently have are enough to go out and land a significant piece. I mean, you look at what the Red Sox got in their return for Rafi Devers this week, not a lot in terms of, top. Like, I don't think they got anybody that was in the top, 50 in terms of prospects in baseball. They did get the Giants' first-round pick last year. If you want to go, compare what that price tag would be, what the Giants gave up and what the Mariners would have given up, that would have been like Jerangelo Senja, who I don't think is a top 100 prospect quite yet. Obviously, he's an exciting prospect because the options are limitless with him throwing from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where you look at in terms of oh man, that's what it took to get Rafi Devers, in addition to eating all of his salary. But there are going to be chances for this Mariners front office to take advantage of, and I hope that, yes, it is hard to get rid of prospects because you never know what they're going to turn into, but there is the possibility that you have a trade where it works out in your favor, the way Luis Castillo, today's starting pitcher for the Mariners, has worked out phenomenally for them over the 3+ seasons he's been here. And you look at what the Mariners gave up to Cincinnati in that trade, and none of those guys have panned out. That also could happen. The best possible outcome could happen in these kinds of trades.
We also need something else to happen here. We need Julio to start hitting with a bit more power. He's had a decent season, but not the season that we expected. Tim speaks on that. Cut 13.
No, he's going to have to hit more than this. When I say hit, he's going to have to produce a lot more than this because he's good enough to produce a lot more than this. Cal Raleigh's great, but he's slugging almost 200 points higher than Julio is right now, and that just doesn't follow. I mean, Cal Raleigh's been great, but Julio and Randy Arozarena really have got to start to hit the ball out of the ballpark and get some big hits and drive in some runs and do some things. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to make the playoffs.
All right, I want to get this one cut in, too, because I want to get your full thoughts on this before we get out of here. Cut 14, he said, we might have done something a bit too early when it comes to Julio.
Look, I'm not giving up on any level with anyone who isn't even 25 years old yet. But I think you're right. Part of the problem is after his first full year, and we did a thing at ESPN, and he was voted like the 8th best player in baseball after one season, which just seemed a little bit early for me. And it did trouble me for his sake a couple years ago. I know when he got off to that terrible start, one of the Mariners guys says, he's late on everything. And when a young hitter who's that big and that strong and that good is late on everything, that makes you worry. Now, I fully expect him to get hot, as he is known to do. I fully expect him to be way more productive the rest of this season than he's been to this point. But sure, it's a little bit odd to wonder. We should be wondering about a 24-year-old when, with that kind of talent, there should be very, very little concerns about him.
I think it's interesting that Kirkchen brings up maybe we crowned him a little too early, but whose fault is that? Is that Julio's fault, or is that our fault as the collective media and the people that follow this team and follow this sport daily? That's not his fault that he was ranked 8th in the ESPN MLB 100 poll after his rookie season. That's us. That's not anything that he did. It's a reflection of what he did in his rookie season. And I mean, his rookie season is still among the best that we've ever seen. I think he was one of 2 rookies ever to go 20-20 in his rookie season. So, I mean, he just was so good. I still think Julio, at the end of the day, all 30 teams would kill to have that kind of talent in their lineup every single day, and would kill to have that kind of play out in center field. And I just think that what he does is so valuable to this team, even with the strikeouts, even with the chase, even with the swing and miss. You would be a much worse off team without him than you are with him.
I agree 100%. And he's 24, so we'll see what the rest of this year holds for him and the future. Okay, it is Wednesday. When we come back, it will be 10:45. So this is when something gets inside me. I get a little grumpy. Stay tuned for Get Off My Lawn coming up next.
Breaker, howdy out there. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out that rye bread and mustard and make another sandwich. Cal Raleigh with a grand slam.
Another big night for the Big Dumper. Today, the Mariners look to close out the homestand with a series win over Boston. First pitch at 1:10, pregame at noon on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news. This August, luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus. I got something for you to do. I want you to get on I-5, go north, and get off exit 260. That's where you'll find Silver Reef Casino. It's a great place to get away and to recharge and get your mind right. They have great, comfortable rooms, spacious rooms, free Wi-Fi, and they have tablets. And if you ask, you might just get a view. You go downstairs, they got restaurants for you, the steakhouse, they got Cantina, plus the Porter's Bay Sports Bar. I went down there. I was watching some ball, having a beverage. It was a good time. The service was on point. And then bring your golf clubs. So all you golfers out there, they got Loomis Trails Golf Course, 18 holes with water everywhere. Hit it straight. Be patient. On the weekends, every Saturday this month, you can win up to $5,000. You got to enter to win. And also, they got upcoming events. Howie Mandel's going to be there. Desperado is an Eagles tribute band. And also, Neil McCoy. Book your tickets at silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino, it's not a secret anymore.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed.
The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services, from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical, to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's 10:45 on a Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for Bump to give us 3 things that he is feeling very strongly about for Get Off My Lawn. Now, Bump, we're doing Get Off My Lawn today with a wide open window here in the booth, and they're
gonna hear me today.
Many players out on the field. There's like a tour group on the warning track here behind home plate. So I gotta know, what are you feeling? What are you needing people to get off your lawn about?
Okay.
I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm 40.
All right, this first one. Oh, man. Who is the most polarizing athlete in the WNBA right now?
There's
two of them.
two.
There's two of
Caitlin
them.
Clark and Angel Reese.
Okay, I'm going Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. Okay.
I don't know if you watched the game yesterday. I forgot who they played.
I saw the highlights. It was Connecticut.
Yeah, she got poked in the eye, and then one girl bumped her. Then another girl bumped her. She goes down, and everyone said, "Oh my God, why are they treating her like this?" Now look, the girls don't like Caitlin. We understand that,
right?
Okay, but why are we acting like this isn't part of competition? Like, people don't get after other athletes. When Kobe was in the league, he had beef with Matt Barnes. He had beef with Charlie Ward. He had beef with Metta World Peace. When Jordan was in the league, he had beef with Reggie Miller. He had beef with Vernon Maxwell. He had beef with everybody on the Knicks. When Bird and Julius Erving went at it. Now, listen, I understand they are getting at her because she has a target on her back, and she understands that. And I think Caitlin Clark handles it perfectly. She doesn't get all into it. Her press conferences are on point. But people are acting like this type of stuff doesn't happen in any other sports. I think just because we're looking at women do it, like, oh, my God, don't be lady. Like, man, forget all that noise. 2025. These girls want to rough her up a little bit. She's got to understand she's going to be roughed up a little bit, and I think she does understand it. I think the community, everyone else, is the one making a huge deal about this. The girl did not poke her in the eye on purpose.
Right.
No, she didn't. But when Caitlin turns around and acts like she's going to do something, teammates are going to stick up for teammates. The problem is, where were her teammates? Her teammates should have been all in the mix. So I'm just saying, listen, man. We want these women to go out and compete and be fierce and do all the things that we see that the NBA does. And when they do, you make a big deal out of it. Let the girls play, man. Get off of them.
I love that because I was watching the game last night, or at least saw highlights of it on SportsCenter, and yeah, like, what's the saying? If you don't have haters, you're not popping, right?
Exactly.
And Caitlin Clark is absolutely popping. She is the biggest draw in that league, and I think there is some jealousy of that as to why she may get some hard fouls. But like you said, that's just part of competition. That's just part of seeing a superstar. People try to do whatever it is to knock their block off, and that's an easy way to do it is to knock her down, is to get hard fouls. Now, did you see what was her teammate Sophie Cunningham at the very end of the game? The same player who fouled Caitlin Clark pretty hard on a breakaway layup. she's defending it, and then just grabs her and takes her to the
Yes.
ground. I was like,
Yes.
okay, finally somebody is sticking up for Caitlin Clark.
That's what you do.
That's exactly what you do.
When I played in high school and in college, and someone hit me with a cheap shot, I go back to the huddle. They say, "Bump, what number?"
Yeah.
35. Don't worry, we got him. All right, come on, man. I'm just saying. I get it. I get it. Now she gets a lot of it,
Right.
but that's part of wearing the crown. Next up.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, man. This goes out to baseball. Baseball, I hate you, and I love you at the same time. I absolutely hate and love you at the same time. I was sitting here with Riz before the show started, and we're talking about how we just saw two different teams. One team got shut out 2-0. The next team they're only their third or fourth shutout of the season by beating the Red Sox 8-0. Baseball, I hate you and I love you because there's so many games, and we have to form opinions about you after we see stuff, and then the next day you erase all of that.
You sound like hypocrites every
Exactly.
day.
Straight hypocrites. Making my job difficult, fun, and hard at the same time, all the above. And Riz told me this quote by Lloyd McLondon. You have to trust the length of the season. Yes, you do. We have to trust the length of the season, but I got to respond to everything that you do. And when you get shut out 2-0, the bats don't look good. You're wasted a start. I'm gonna let you know. But when you come out 8-0, the bats look good. The pitcher on the mound is on point. I gotta let you know, baseball, you are frustrating. I love everything about baseball. I love the 162. I love coming to the ballpark. I smell hot dogs right now. I can smell it. I love everything about baseball, except for the fact that this team is so up and down. It drives me crazy. If I had hair, I'd be losing it at a high rate.
I love it. Yeah, I mean that is the blessing and the curse of a baseball season is that you can't get too high, you can't get too low. It's funny because baseball goes from a marathon, which is the regular season, to a dead sprint, which is the postseason.
Right.
And it is so crazy to see just the pacing of the season change in that instant when the calendar switches from September to October. But, yeah, we're here in June. We're, 72 games into the season, 37 and 35? Yeah, so, we've got, 90 games left in this year? That's a long time. Mm-hmm. Now, you obviously want to help yourself out and win as many of these games so you don't have as big of a hole to dig yourself out of. But, yeah, if you talk to any of these guys down in the clubhouse about the last couple of weeks when things were going really tough, when they had dropped, 11 of 13 or what have you, if you talk to them now, they probably don't have a good memory of that because they've won, 4 of 5 to start this homestand with an opportunity to go 5-1 on a homestand.
Yeah. Trust the length of the season.
Big
Lloyd
goldfish.
McLondon. Thank you, Riz. Next up.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, last one, man. LeBron James, one of the greatest to play the game. Understand that. Plays for my team, one of the greatest franchises of all time, the Lakers. But every now and then, man, he'll say some stuff. I'm like, come on, LeBron. Come on. And now he's talking about the ring culture. Here's this quote. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the end-all, be-all of everything James said. Okay, you weren't a great player because you never won a championship, or if you won one, you can't be in the same conversation with this person. You sit here, you tell me Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, and Steve Nash weren't unbelievable. Listen, LeBron, you play to win the game. You play to win rings and championships. And yes, Allen Iverson, a great basketball player. If he would have won one ring, he would have been elevated. Charles Barkley, great basketball player. He wins one ring, he gets elevated. Don't sit here and act like rings aren't important, right? Why'd you come to L.A.? Because you felt you can win some rings there.
To win a title.
All right, why'd you go to Miami? Because you felt like you can win some rings there. It's all about the ring. Why are fans frustrated here in Seattle when it comes to the Mariners? Because they haven't even been to a World Series championship. It's all about the ring, and it is directly correlated to your greatness. You can be a great athlete and not win a ring, but if you are a great athlete, you do win rings, you ascend to another level. So, LeBron, stop with this soft, weak stuff and get Luka right. Make sure he's in shape so we can win a ring next year. Dang it, LeBron.
I think these kinds of conversations, especially this time of year, are only happening because it's Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers in the final. And nobody, I think, considers Tyrese Halliburton to be a top 5 player in the NBA.
Right.
And people are like, how good can this guy really be? And, he's 2 wins away from a title. That is such a slight to what he has done this season with his team and how they've gotten better and better. I think if he wins the championship, coming back in Game 6 and Game 7, I mean, you have to talk about him.
Yes.
As one of the very best.
You do. Simple as that. Because
rings matter more than
because
anything.
you want a ring.
Exactly.
LeBron, you're getting soft with your old age, man. I appreciate you, though. All right, man, that was Get Off My Line. I appreciate you guys letting me get some stuff off of my chest. When we come back, we'll be joined by Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman, and we'll get some 4-down territory. That's next on the Bump and Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in.
Breaker, howdy out there. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out there, rye bread and mustard, and make another sandwich. Cal Raleigh with a grand slam.
Another big night for the Big Dumper. Today, the Mariners look to close out the homestand with a series win over Boston. First pitch at 1:10, pregame at noon on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Smoked paprika in your go-to goulash? That's go-go goulash. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion and provide better access to SeaTac. Open soon, free through summer.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tyrese live at Muckleshoot Event Center, Sunday, July 13th, 8 p.m. You've seen him on the screen. You've heard him on the radio. Now see him live for an unforgettable night. Get tickets before they sell out at MuckleshootCasino.com. Tyrese, only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Seahawks training camp, powered by Boeing, is back at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, July 23rd through August 12th. Take in stunning lakeside views, grab autographs from your favorite players.
Last night, Wu gave only one hit through 7. Cal hit a grand slam and was one triple away from the cycle. First pitch today is at 1:10. Castillo was on the mound, and the Ravens are signing free agent corner Jair Alexander to a one-year deal.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. This is the Bump and Stacy Show. Curtis Rogers is in for Stacy. I'm Michael Bumpus. We are joined now by Jordan Shusterman on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jordan, how we doing today?
What's going on? Hello from Phoenix, Arizona, where it is a crisp 115 degrees. How are you guys doing?
115. Nice. That sounds miserable, Jordan. Not gonna lie.
Do you have your sunscreen?
Great. We're having a good time. We're staying inside. That's the key.
Awesome, man. Hey, Jordan. You join us every week, and it's right after I do my angry man segment where I just start complaining about stuff. And one of my rants today was baseball. I said, baseball, I hate you and I love you at the same time because the Mariners show one day they couldn't hit anything. They get shut out 2-0. Then the next day, Cal hits a grand slam, drives in 6, almost hits for the cycle, and all is well. How do I keep my sanity with this team?
I'm so glad you're bringing this up, and I actually would love your perspective here in particular as a football guy, because this is the beauty and the curse of baseball, is that you just keep playing over and over and over and over every day. You don't have to wait a week. If you get crushed, you lose a football game 40-0, and you got to wait a whole week to do something about it, and it's just stews and stews and stews. Like, as bad as the loss is on Monday, good news, you're going to play again on Tuesday. And, every once in a while over the course of a baseball, of course, you have losing streaks and it, gets deeper and deeper and deeper. But oftentimes, outside of, the rare off day, you're going to get a chance to just redeem yourself and immediately make everyone feel better. And I think, Boston probably felt that in the other direction after all the drama surrounding them, how good they must have been feeling on Monday, all things considered. And then you have a loss like that on Tuesday, you're back to feeling like, oh, gosh, here we go again. The Red Sox, they have no hope and no Rafael Devers.
You bring up Devers. Obviously, that's the biggest news in all of baseball this week. You're around a lot of baseball people there in Phoenix for the MLB Draft Combine. Jordan, what's kind of been the prevailing thought among people you've gotten to talk to over the last, 72 hours since that trade went down?
Yeah, no, it is every bit as shocking still a few days later for the people in the game. And I think to kind of bring it to the event that I'm doing here, and maybe we can get into that more. But, we just recorded a podcast this morning doing a little bit more reaction to the Devers trade and talking about some of the stuff that was said in the press conferences, and finding players like Devers, like so many of the conversations that you're having here at the Draft Combine, especially you're watching these kids take BP, high schoolers from all around the country and college kids, and you're just saying, man, like, okay, he can do this, he's fast, he's physical, he's got power, but can he hit? Can he hit? Like, most of these kids probably can't hit. Rafael Devers can hit. He's one of the most, stone cold lock, like he is going to hit Major League pitching at a high level as we have in Major League Baseball right now. And so that simple fact of willingly moving on from that is a very difficult decision to wrap your mind around in a very simple way. Not that there wasn't so much drama and maybe some blame to go around on both sides that led us to this point. But when you have a hitter that is that good, that you know for sure is going to produce at the highest level, moving on from that is a hard thing for a lot of people to kind of understand.
Hey, Jordan, what do you make of Devers coming out and saying, look, I'll play whatever position the Giants want me to play. I know I didn't want to do it in Boston, but I'll do it here in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, of course, took notice of that. I think it's clear that the story of him getting traded had to do with just a broken relationship, broken trust. And I think what's become very apparent in not just ever saying that at his intro presser, but also just the reporting around kind of how we got here, which is that it wasn't necessarily that Rafael Devers was like fundamentally opposed to playing another position no matter what. It was how that possibility was communicated to him and how they ended up getting to the point where after Tristan Casas gets injured, they're like, hey, Rafi, can you bail us out? And that includes, them pretending like they weren't going after Arenado and Bregman and then doing it and then being like, hey, now you're going to do this. And I think he just didn't like how they went about getting to the point of asking him to play first. Whereas now, it's a fresh start. It's a new team. He knows he's not going to play third over Matt Chapman, and he wants to make a good first impression. Yeah, I think he's not stupid. I think it was more just about the personal relationships that kind of got in the way of him being willing to do something in the middle of the season for Boston.
What do you think that trade is going to have, or what kind of impact do you think that trade is going to have on the deals that get made over the next month and a half here heading into the deadline? Because, I mean, I don't know if any of us truly thought that Devers was going to get moved, at least during the season. And now it kind of opens the possibility of teams kind of maybe sniffing around on other guys and saying, hey, what if we did, take on the rest of this huge contract? Would you be more open to doing business that way?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right, the other way you could say is, if you're willing to make moves in mid-June, maybe we don't have to wait until the end of July. I don't really think so. I think this is very much a unique and one-off situation for a lot of reasons. I think the way that it will really ultimately impact it is those two teams. I think the Giants, the way that they were trending, were going to have to acquire some offense in some way. And that might still be true even after the Devers deal. But now they have – I don't see a world where they're acquiring a hitter better than Rafael Devers. I don't really see a world where anybody is acquiring a hitter better than Rafael Devers before the deadline. But that doesn't mean guys aren't going to be moved. And I think how it impacts, of course, San Francisco's position, because what it could do is if this works perfectly and the Giants continue to pitch well and Devers makes a huge impact and the Giants are meaningfully pushing the Dodgers, maybe they're even more aggressive to try and add even more at the deadline. So I think it's more about how those teams are going to act. And, Craig Breslow was very clear in his press the other day saying, like, this is not a white flag on the season. We believe that we are still, going to be in it and going to be aggressive in adding. And I do believe him, but, we'll see where they're at in the standings in a month because now they're worse. So we'll see if they can really hang in the mixer. I think they still have enough talent to stay around because the American League is not very good. But I also think that they have a lot to figure out before we get to that point.
Hey, Jordan, we've seen some pretty good performances by the starting pitching staff as of late. Obviously, last night you got your performance by Wu, Kirby sitting down 14, Logan on the mound sitting down 10. If they can continue with this trajectory, what does that do for the deadline? We understand that you got to wait and see what teams are going to be sellers and buyers or whatnot. But as it stands right now, if this rotation continues to do what they've been doing, does that allow the Mariners to not be as aggressive at the trade deadline?
I think it's a great point. I don't know if it's about – I think they're still going to be aggressive and should for a lot of the reasons we've kind of talked about on the show recently and, referring again to still having this farm system that's really strong that you feel like you're going to be able to deal from. But it's probably just about what you're going to be aggressive to go after. And I think that it's so true. I think what we've seen recently, really for the first time this season, is what it felt like last year. For much of last season. And it took until mid-June to get there. It took some injuries. It took, George Kirby really finally starting to settle in. And, I mean, Brian Wu has, for the most part, been fantastic this whole season, so that's less of a surprise. But those three in that, short span that's really as good as it gets. And, Castillo has remained to be a little bit up and down, and Bryce at this point, I'm really not counting on a whole lot moving forward. But still, that even if you just focus on those three that you just mentioned recently, that puts you those guys at that level, that's putting you in a hell of a spot. And that is the spot that, we've been talking about this team having the opportunity to be in last season. And I hope that they act accordingly because that's what it was supposed to look like. And we know it hasn't really gone that way this year, but it is still in there. And I think that must be refreshing for the organization to see.
Sticking with the rotation, somebody that has had a really nice stretch here is Emerson Hancock, who on Sunday went 7 shutout innings against Cleveland, has really looked the part over the last month or so, ever since that start against the Yankees back on May 12th. Jordan, I want to know from you, going forward this season, is the best version of the Mariners rotation one with Emerson Hancock in it?
I would say yes, especially assuming Bryce Miller is not pitching anytime soon. Maybe that's an unfair assumption, but I think for sure. I think that seeing Hancock and Evans kind of start to find their stride and then occasionally have some hiccups. But we know that Hancock is, 3 years ahead of, right? He was drafted in 2020, right? And Logan Evans, this all happened very fast for him. The fact that he's in the big leagues is an incredible testament to his talent and what he's become. But Emerson Hancock has kind of taken his lumps already a few times, and I think that has taught him a lot to start to be able to understand his identity as a pitcher, understand what works for him. And it shouldn't be a shock to us that he has started to kind of settle in as a really reliable starting pitcher. And I think what we saw last year, early on in Emerson Hancock, it was like, because the standard had been set so high, it felt so disappointing that this guy who was taken in the first round was looking like kind of a fairly generic 5-starter. But there's a pretty big difference between a generic 5-starter and what he's looking like right now, which is like a solid number 4. And that is, with the guys ahead of him, that is also a pretty strong place to be. And I think Hancock has absolutely earned the opportunity to kind of keep taking the ball.
Let's take a look at the division. You're sitting there 4.5 games behind the Astros. You got Texas behind the Mariners, and at the bottom you got the Angels and the Athletics. What's true about this division right now, and what do you think is false?
Yeah, I think the Angels. The Angels they're doing great. Look at them. They seem to be like alternating sweeping and then getting swept. And so, as I've said about them, they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. But obviously, standings wise, they're still right in the mix there, and credit to them. I think Texas is still the ultimate wild card. Houston, I still consider separate. They've obviously started to separate themselves in the standings. I think they're clearly a flawed team. As we've seen over the past few years, this is not the juggernaut that we know them to be, but I also think that they do deserve the benefit of the doubt. They do deserve to be considered in their own group because of what they've constantly done and because of what they've honestly proven, even with some of their new personnel, to be able to be at the top of this division. I think Texas remains the real wild card here. And I think especially as we head towards the deadline, that's the team I'm looking at closest as where they are, how aggressive are they willing to be? Because from a front office standpoint, I have to think it is going to be pretty aggressive, but the standings might dictate that they have to just kind of hold. And I am not. I feel like Seattle's floor and ceiling are probably both still higher than Texas at this point, but I also think that there is a good team in Texas in some form. It just feels less likely that they're going to reach it, but depending on where they are in the standings, I can still see them being pretty aggressive before the deadline.
Jordan, you said you're down there at the MLB Draft Combine. Mariners with a pick at number 3. I know we're still about a month away from the MLB Draft. Any names that you have been very interested in seeing down there?
Man, it's so hard, and I was just right before I got on this call having a long conversation with someone about what Seattle could do at 3, and it's just such a unique situation, right? The lottery gives them this 3rd overall pick. With such a small chance to get it in a year where they're some really good players, but no clear top guy. And it's really hard to separate that top group. Whereas last year, you just had all these college players coming off historic seasons. I mean, even a couple high school guys that were really at the top level. This could go so many different ways. I really think they would probably prefer to go pitching, but if that top pitcher on their board is going to be available is a good question. You know, we're talking about there's 3 left-handed pitchers at the top of the draft from the college ranks: Cade Anderson, LSU; Liam Doyle, Tennessee; Jamie Arnold, Florida State. I think Cade Anderson is the one I think they'd love to have. And then there's this wild card of Seth Hernandez, who's one of the best high school pitching prospects we've seen in a long time, right-handed from California. I spoke to him yesterday. Really, really, really good kid. Good interview that I thought spoke to just like how he got to this point where it is not a demographic teams are very excited to take at the top of the draft, but he's done all you could possibly ask for a high school pitcher in terms of putting him in position to be selected really high. So it doesn't really feel like something Seattle was done. We know they've gone heavy on the high school hitters. There are some of those that could be in the mix there too. Maybe a JoJo Parker from Mississippi, Eli Willis from Oklahoma. It doesn't seem like Ethan Holiday is in the mix for them, but we'll see if he's on the board. So they could go in so many different directions, but I think we know that at the very least they're going to be getting a player that they did not think they were going to have access to before the draft lottery. And I think that in and of itself is pretty exciting.
He is Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. We appreciate you, man, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Jordan.
Looking forward to it. Talk soon, guys. See ya.
All right, let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, Bump, first down to you. Who has the most interesting quarterback room in the NFL?
This sounds like a high school team drama when I think about this room. Listen to this guy, this quarterback on the 3rd leg of his career, maybe the 4th. This quarterback, a journeyman who thinks he can still get it done in the league. This quarterback, a rookie, waiting for his uncles to fall asleep so he can take the car off for a joyride. I'm talking about the New York Football Giants room. You got Wilson on his 4th leg, Winston, who thinks he can still play in this league, and Dart, who just wants these guys to fall asleep so he can take the car off for a joyride because he's waiting for his turn. This is going to be fun to play out. When Stacy was here yesterday, we were talking about expectations for Russell Wilson. I think we all settled on he's probably not going to be the starting quarterback when you get towards the end of the year, but he can lay some type of foundation for this young Jackson Dart, and even Jameis Winston can help. Both of these guys have had success and failures in his league, but the more I look at the quarterback rooms, this one's interesting. The Cleveland Browns quarterback room is interesting as well with all the drama over there. We're hearing that they might actually keep 4 quarterbacks on game day on that roster, which is crazy to me because they don't know what to do. You drafted 2. You got 2 OGs over there. This is going to be fun, but I look at the New York Football Giants quarterback room. There's so much contrast in that room. I mean, goodness gracious.
Flavor for all seasons.
Flavor for all seasons, exactly. They're going all across the board with that one. So, New York Football Giants, that is going to be a great movie to watch this year at the quarterback spot.
2nd down. All right, Bump, we're going to the world of video games for this one. So what is something that the game Madden has done that you think is kind of messed up, but also kind of accurate?
Yeah, it's messed up. You know why? Because it's affecting one of ours.
Uh-oh.
Sam Darnold, what is he most known for?
Interceptions?
Something that he said after throwing an interception.
Ghosts?
I'm seeing ghosts. So in Madden this year, if your quarterback throws an interception, the next 3 downs, he's more likely to force it to his number 1 read, and they call that seeing ghosts. So they're labeling that as seeing ghosts. Now, it's accurate because once you throw an interception, you're a bit more timid. You don't want to let the football go. I understand that. If Sam Darnold were not a Seahawk, you know, I laugh a little bit more at this. But now he's 1 hours, okay? No one talks about 14. Only we can talk about 14.
Hey,
Madden.
Lay off,
Don't
Madden.
you do that to my dude.
Yeah, I think that's Brock's fault, right? Because he's on the game.
He is on the game.
He's one of the commentators on the game.
I wonder if they have Brock voicing.
Wow.
I wonder if he's seeing ghosts. I wonder.
It comes from the inside. It always does.
It always does. You know what, Brock? We got to have a conversation, man. You're throwing your quarterback under the bus like that. It's not fair. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was messed up, but I thought it was accurate. I've coached many, especially on the high school level. They throw an interception. Man, they're checking everything down for the next 3 or 4 plays. So I understand the premise of the whole thing, but he's one of ours now. So, Madden, you got some explaining to do.
Lay off. 3rd down. Bump, what is something that Leonard Williams says that the Seahawks have that gives them an edge, and how important is it?
And it's not about scheme It's not about personnel. It's not about effort. He says there's this great connection with this defense. Now, you can look at this several ways. It can be connection with the philosophy, understanding where you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to execute. Or what I'm thinking is connection as just a team. When I went out there for the OTAs and the minicamp and all that, that defense seemed like they genuinely loved each other and they want to play for each other. They're backing each other up when they're talking crap to the offense, even though they're on the same team. They're barking at the referees. They're barking at the coaches. And you can view that, if you don't know what you're looking at, as a defense that just talks too much. I want a defense that is over-communicating, that is over-hyped, that is over-enthusiastic, and to hear one of your leaders, if not the leader on the defense, probably the best player of the defense as of now, come out there and say that there's a real connection with this ball club. I think you're moving in the right direction. So, Leo, keep doing your thing. 11.5 sacks last year. Give me 12 this year and keep this defense connected.
4th down. Bump, what's a sign to you of a healthy relationship in the NFL?
Lamar Jackson told the Baltimore Ravens to go get Jair Alexander. And guess what they did?
They went and got
Jair Alexander. Now, there are only a few quarterbacks in the league who can make requests like this and the team actually go get it. And I'm sure Harbaugh understands, like, he just makes our defense better.
Sure.
But however you want to paint it or slice it, the quarterback spoke and the organization went out and got it done for him. And that is a sign of a healthy relationship. But how do you get there? You go to conference championship games. You become an all-pro. You throw 40 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. You rush for 1,000 yards a couple times, 2 MVPs. I mean, when you do all of that, your voice is going to be heard in the organization. But I thought it was cool. If I'm Harbaugh, I'm dressing it up. See, Lamar, I got you, man. I went and got this guy for you. When you know dang well Harbaugh's looking at the defense and saying, yeah, we're going to be better with Jair Alexander on the squad. So, yeah, that's a sign of a healthy relationship. And you know what? I hope one day that the Seahawks get there with Sam Darnold, because that means that he's got a couple Pro Bowls, maybe an All-Pro, Conference Championship. Who knows? We shall see how this thing unfolds. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners take on the Red Sox today in their series finale. Pregame show follows us at noon. First pitch is at 1:10 on Seattle Sports. Make sure you guys tune in. When we come back, we'll hit the timeline. We got Manny Ramirez talking. We got Pedro talking. Boston is on the timeline. We'll talk about that next.
Breaker, howdy out there. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out that rye bread and mustard and make another sandwich. Cal Raleigh with a grand slam.
Another big night for the Big Dumper. Today, the Mariners look to close out the homestand with a series win over Boston. First pitch at 1:10, pregame at noon on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Do you have a car you'd like to sell but don't want to go through all the hassle? With all the scams and security risks out there, more and more people are uncomfortable selling their own car. So how do you get the most money for your used car without selling it yourself? Stacy here with the answer. Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your car and pay you right up front for it, but it gets way better. Once they resell your old car, they share half the profit with you. The question I get most from my friends and colleagues is, what's the catch? And how can they offer this? It's super simple. All the money they save by not traveling to buy cars at auctions, like purchase fees, shipping, and travel expenses, is what allows them to offer this. They'd rather share that money they save with you than outside vendors. They encourage you to shop around, but if Wayscar Ford can pay you the same or more as their competitors and then share half their profit with you once they resell your car, why would you sell your car anywhere else? They've already shared over $800,000 with customers, and it's only at Wayscar Ford. That's wayscarford.com, Wayscar Ford in Auburn.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.
Muckleshoot. Hey, it's Dave Wyman with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD from Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Dr. Wagner is hosting a free stem cell webinar tonight at 6 to explain how stem cell therapy works.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join him tonight at 6 for the free stem cell webinar and learn all about this amazing procedure. Register now at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
This is The Timeline on the Bump and Stacy show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in. Before we get into it, we got What I Need to Know coming up after this. We have a short show today, so get those questions in at 866-979-3776. But back to The Timeline. Reporter June Lee says Red Sox use an AI bot to conduct multiple rounds of interviews for an opening in their front office. Cut 18.
I heard last night after I reported this piece and it went out about an interview with the Red Sox were trying to recruit a new person for their baseball operations department. And during this interview process, the entire interview was conducted with an AI bot where you would record the answers to the questions and then the Red Sox would then evaluate them. And this wasn't just one round. It wasn't just 2 rounds. It was 5 rounds of interviews where this person did not talk to another person in the Red Sox organization.
That's kind of weird. I understand it because they're looking for
to put it mildly,
efficiency, I guess. But listen, if you are hiring somebody, if you're an organization, that's a human being. You would want to feel the emotion, how they say things, when they say things. It just seems odd to me. You know what I just discovered? I haven't just discovered it, but I started using it a lot more. ChatGPT, man, that thing's scary. Like you ask that you ask that engine anything, and I can have a conversation with ChatGPT. So I get where the world is going, but if I own a business, if I'm hiring somebody, I want to talk to that person. I want to look them in their eye. I want to feel their emotions and get an idea of who they are.
I think the one thing that a lot of people in sports, especially at that level, have tried to do is to computerize everything, and they forget that these are people. This is a people business. This is a people game. Like, you don't play this game on a spreadsheet. You don't play this game using algorithms. These are people. And to automate that kind of process, an interview process where you are going to have to be relying on this person. Think back to a couple days ago, Bump, when we played that cut of the Colts' new owner, the daughter of Jim Irsay, Carly Irsay, and how she said she uses a headset during games to make sure that the communication between players and coaches and everybody is okay, and because she said there's millions of dollars at stake here, not just in revenue that the team can make, but what these players are making. And when you automate a process like that, where you're interviewing somebody for a front office job, where they're going to be millions of dollars at stake, I don't think you can get as an efficient I don't think you can get as an accurate reading on a person using AI as you could just simply interviewing them face to face. That is if that is true, which I have no reason to believe it's not, because June Lee is a very credible reporter, and he has written a lot of well-sourced things on the Red Sox in the last few days. That is a huge red flag if I'm a Red Sox fan, being like, what? You were trying to cut corners, essentially, in hiring some of the most important people in the organization.
I have hired people who aren't as qualified as someone else just because of their potential and just their vibe. I can see myself working with this person. I think they're going to work hard. They might not know everything, but I can teach them some of this stuff, and I see a future. And I've looked at people who are qualified and thinking, yeah, we're not going to vibe. You're going to be a pain in my butt. You're not going to adhere to processes. There are things that you can just feel from a human being that you don't get from a bot. The world our kids are going to be living in is going to be crazy, Curtis. It's going to be crazy.
I don't see how you're going to be able to make an effective hire by making a move like that. No. I can see Craig Breslow from here. He's in that white quarter zip right there on the warning track, and I'm just like, man, this guy has had so much said about him in the last 72 hours.
Oh man!
I mean, very few of us even knew who he was before this last weekend, and now he is persona non grata across Major League Baseball. But that is a wild discovery.
Yeah,
true.
Crazy. Work harder. Not smarter. Not smarter.
Work smarter and harder.
Work smarter and harder. All right, next up. A pair of Red Sox legends aren't feeling the Rafael Devers trade. First, Manny Ramirez on MLB Network, cut 19.
Come on, Boston. Why you did my guy like that? You don't treat the face of the team like that. Actually, you're not only the respecting Devers, you the respecting the whole fan base. I don't care if you pay me 300 or 400 million, you need to communicate with me. I'm gonna put it this way. It's like you telling Aaron Judge next year, as soon as he gets to spring training, hey, I want you to be a catcher. How he's gonna respond?
All right, well, let's hear from Pedro as well, and then we'll respond to both of these.
I was shocked, just like everybody else. I was shocked because if you try to sell to me, knowing Rafi Devers, that Rafi is a bad teammate or he's not a team player, you're lying. You're going to tell me he's a bad influence in the clubhouse? He's not. Does he want to play every single day? Yes, that's probably why he was mad. Well, the thing got mishandled from the get-go. And I think if I'm Jimmy and I'm Grandy and we have an ex-teammate or a teammate that's not doing things like they should be doing. We pull him aside, all three of us, and we convince him to come into the things that we want to do together. This should have been in the hands of baseball people, not front office people, not leaking it to the media, not having a back and forth between the media and Alex and Sam Kennedy and Breslow. Right. So I think it should have been handled by baseball people.
And Curtis, I think that statement right there should have been handled by baseball people. It's something that we only hear in baseball, in the sense that you don't hear in football that decision should have been made by a football person, or basketball, that should have been made by a basketball person. Because there's so much data and so many layers to this game. You hear things like this. And when you hear Ramirez and Martinez, two Boston greats, speaking this way, who have intel. They're not just shooting from the hip.
Right.
They have intel. You have to listen to what they're saying.
Very connected in that organization.
Yeah.
I think Pedro brings up an interesting point. You mentioned it, the baseball people point, where this started as a baseball problem, where it was they sign Alex Bregman, who plays the same spot that Rafi Devers plays. They then ask Rafi Devers to DH or potentially move to first base, and he says no. I want to play third base. That's what I signed here. That's what I signed my extension for. Like, I had that assurance that I wasn't going to be moved off my spot, and we're near the start of the season. That's a lot to ask of me. It started as a baseball issue, and I think it should have stayed one, but then it grew and grew and grew to the point where the front office stepped in. You had the owner, John Henry, making trips out to road trips, which is something that he doesn't normally do, at least from what we've read over the last couple of days. And it sounded like things did not end very amicably between him and Devers. And it just seems like there was so much mismanagement in all of this. It's interesting that Manny had the point of view that he did, because things fell out pretty quickly with him in Boston at the end of his tenure, where he kind of was like, I want to do what I want to do. And Boston was like, no, you're going to fall in line with the rest of us here. And Manny was like, I cannot make those assurances. And so they traded him to the Dodgers, and then he had that incredible second half of the season, his first year in L.A. So I wonder if Manny is maybe kind of speaking from personal experience, where he says the Red Sox need to treat the face of the franchise better, saying like, well, I was the face of the franchise at one time, and you guys traded me too. That's something that the Red Sox have done
what they do.
a lot, though. They've traded their face of the franchise a ton of times.
Thank you.
Nomar in
Manny.
2004.
Hey, where did they go?
Both went to L.A., yeah.
Man. Come on, Red Sox. You got to do better than that. We'll see how this unfolds for them. I'm sure that first win against the Mariners made them feel like, oh, we can still do this. What did their skip say? That they might be better without Devers?
I think that was Breslow,
was it
too.
Breslow?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Breslow said that. Yeah, Breslow. I'm looking at you right now, too, Breslow. You're not a fan of the Boston Red Sox fans are not a fan of you right now. But, we'll see. Time will tell. What did Riz say? Trust the length of the season.
There we go.
So we'll see what the Red Sox do for the rest of this year. The 2025 MLB All-Star ballot is open, and Cal, Julio, JP, and the crew need your help to secure a spot at this year's Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. You can vote up to 5 times per day, every day, through June 26th at MLB.com/vote. Short show today, as first pitch is at 1:10. You got the pregame show coming up after us, so it is time for What I Need to Know. Get your questions in, 866-979-3776. No Stacy today, so if you want reality TV advice, I don't think we can help you there. Unless we're talking Survivor, I think Curtis got that on lock. Okay?
We'll do our best.
Send your questions our way. What I Need to Know coming up next.
Breaker, howdy out there. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out that rye bread and mustard and make another sandwich. Cal Raleigh with a grand slam.
Another big night for the Big Dumper. Today, the Mariners look to close out the homestand with a series win over Boston. First pitch at 1:10, pregame at noon on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Psst, honey. Honey! What? Shh, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Do you know a woman that gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Shannon Dreyer here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help in finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Church's Chicken is bringing even more flavor to the neighborhood with our Bremerton location, and we can't wait to share what we've been cooking up. So stop by and try our bold, juicy, flavor-to-the-bone fried chicken with all our only at Church's Fixins. Yeah, your newest fave is waiting with unbeatable deals and unmistakable crunch right here at the Church's Chicken in Bremerton on 4000 Wheaton Way. That's right. Come on down. Friends, family, and neighbors welcomed at 4000 Wheaton Way in Bremerton. See you soon. Church's.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services, from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical, to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
The secret's out on what Western Washington dads want this summer. A beautiful green lawn that they don't have to mow or water. One they can use to host, play with their kids, and even practice chipping. Synthetic Turf Northwest has your solution. Low-maintenance lawns they'll install anywhere in Western Washington. Take advantage of their Father's Day sale for up to $1,500 off a new lawn, perfectly installed through June. Synthetic Turf Northwest. Your green lawn solution. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news this August. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Final segment of this short show. What I need to know. Get your questions in. 866-979-3776. This one, I really like this one.
Okay.
It says, Bump. If the Lakers were to make a top 50 Lakers of all time team, should LeBron be on the list?
He's got it.
Naturally, I thought to myself, how long has LeBron been in L.A.? Like, what, 4 years? No, 7 seasons.
It's been a long time.
He's been in L.A.
He's been in L.A. more than he was in Miami.
Exactly, 4 seasons in Miami. So he's essentially spent a third of his career in L.A., and he's won a championship. So I think that he would have to be on that list. I think he'd be on Cleveland's list. I think he'd be on Miami's list, too, because he's won everywhere he's went. So, yeah, I think he has to be on that list.
He's unquestionably the best player in Cavs franchise history. Maybe the best player in Heat franchise history. Not the best player in Lakers franchise history. I think that goes to either Magic or Kobe.
Or Kareem.
Yeah. Kind of whoever you want at that moment in time. But, yeah, he's on the list for sure. He's probably top 10 to 12 Lakers of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
But not the top, for sure.
No, not the top. He's the greatest Cavalier and Miami Heat of all time, I think. All right, next up, what I need to know. Who gets more yards and touchdowns this year? JSN or DK?
Ooh, I like this one.
I like that.
I think JSN gets more yards. I think he's going to go for like 1,100 this year.
Okay.
And I think DK gets the most touchdowns simply because like he's the only option there in Pittsburgh, right? Like
essentially,
it's DK and I don't even know who else in Pittsburgh. So that's who I'm going with. Who are you going with, Bob?
I got to go JSN.
For both?
Both yards and touchdowns.
Okay.
I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to have a decent year, but because there aren't any other weapons over there really for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think you're going to force feed DK. It's going to be predictable at times, and he'll end up with like 8 or 9 of them things. JSN get 10 or 11.
All right.
253 says, "Hey, Bump, don't forget D Wade." I know D Wade's over there. His stats are incredible, but it was just different when LeBron was there, man. LeBron in his prime, and he was like 28, 29, 30.
Yeah. He was making like 60% from the field. And he's not a typical post player.
Nah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
What I need to know, brisket or ribs? I am a brisket type of guy all day.
Brisket is far more versatile than ribs, but I think the best plate of ribs beats the best brisket.
Yeah, I think that's what I like, the versatility of the brisket. You're right. Ribs, if done correctly. My grandfather, rest in peace, when he used to make those ribs, woo, shut it down. Shut the cookout down.
Everyone go home.
What I need to know, Dad Pod, where is the best place to update my clothing? You're asking the wrong person.
Okay.
I wear the same thing every day. My style will not change for the rest of my life. Costco just became excellent to me. I'm so basic. White tees, sweaters, hoodies, jeans. I'm basic.
Now, maybe this speaks to where my wife does the clothes shopping, because she'll routinely hit up Target and Old Navy. I know that those two spots.
I can rock with Target.
Yeah, Target's got some good casual men's clothing.
Yeah.
Jeans, T-shirts, button-ups. You're going to find it there. You're going to find something there.
You know who doesn't shop there? G. Scott. The way he dresses, G. Scott is a Fashion Nova. Or fashionista, I should say.
Yeah.
Like,
he's in name brands.
Yeah, G.
You
Scott
and
be
me,
dressing.
you and me, we are not in name brands.
Basic bumpers is what they call me in the streets when it comes to this clothes. Basic bumpers. What I need to know, what is your go-to midnight snack?
Go-to midnight snack, probably like a bowl of ice cream. I don't get too crazy. There are people that make whole sandwiches and whatnot. No, I'll go with a bowl of ice cream.
Mine is like dried fruit. Like I'm on dried mango right now.
Oh, that stuff's good. We got a bag of that at Costco.
Yeah,
that stuff's really good.
It'll get you. I have to put the bag away from me because I will eat that whole thing. I'm like, all right.
Does yours come with the little like sugar crystals on it? Yeah, that's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
It's good though,
especially at night too.
Yeah,
it's dangerous. All right, let's see. Who would win in a Seattle Sports Golf Scramble? Any team that I'm on, I'm just going to say that, okay? But you got Team 710, Brock, Bump, and Salk, Mariners, Cal, Kirby, Woo, Seahawks, Darnold, Locke, and McDonald. It's clearly me, Brock, and Salk. I don't know anything about these guys' games. I would assume Sam Darnold is a good golfer because that's part of being a quarterback. You better know how to swing a golf club. I feel like Kirby.
I think
Kirby
Team Mariners might give you a run for your money. I think George Kirby's a pretty good golfer from what I've heard.
I know Drew Lock is a good golfer too.
Yeah,
Drew Lock is pretty good.
Drew Lock is good at every sport.
Yeah.
Have you seen his basketball mixtape from high school?
Yeah.
That dude.
My man could play.
That dude could have gone D1, I think, playing basketball for sure. Somebody said for updating your wardrobe, they said Costco, TJ Maxx, and Nordstrom Rack.
Hey, the rack. That's when I'm feeling fancy. I go to the rack. You know, when I got to do a speaking engagement or something like that, I go to the rack and let one of the I don't know what their title is, but they help me out. I'm all right. What do you think about this and this? Try to put stuff together. But yeah.
The thing about Costco's clothing selection, though, is you never know what it's going to be when you walk in.
Random.
You have no idea what they're going to have on sale. And sometimes it's like a season ahead of what the season is going to be. So then you're like, well, I don't need a winter coat right now. It's going to be summertime. So you're really playing with fire with what you've got at Costco, but they've got tremendous deals. TJ Maxx, you're probably going to be picking those clothes up off the floor.
Yeah, it's a scavenger hunt at TJ Maxx.
Yeah, you could probably find something good there. You could probably find some really old like Seahawks jerseys from like the Dwight Freeney year.
Hey, you find a Seneca Wallace jersey in that piece.
It'll be the best deal you've ever gotten on a jersey.
The best deal. Oh man, what is a pet peeve that drives Stacy crazy?
She's told me this. She hates meekness. She just wants to be told up front, whether it's good or bad. Just break it to her in that way.
Yeah.
Don't beat around the bush. That's what she has told me.
Yep. I'll just second that. I'll second that. Stacy, enjoy your day off. And you guys enjoy the Mariners game coming up next. You got the pregame show. Series is tied 1-1. You got Castillo on the mound. Can the offense produce the same way they did yesterday? We shall see. Pregame show coming up next. That's it for myself and Curtis Rogers. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Breaker, howdy out there. Mercy 6, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out there, rye bread and mustard, and make another sandwich. Cal Raleigh with a grand slam.
Another big night for the Big Dumper. Today, the Mariners look to close out the homestand with a series win over Boston. First pitch at 1:10, pregame at noon on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, here in our region, it's really common for homes to have damaged insulation or even no insulation at all in their crawl space or attic. Well, in the winter, that'll make your home cold and drafty. And in the summer months, it can turn your home into an oven. It's Mike Salk here, and utility companies have special incentives right now to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated, including a once-in-a-lifetime rebate from Puget Sound Energy. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yes, they will cover up to 95% of the cost. And if you're anything like me, you love the idea of somebody else paying to improve your home, add value to it, and save you money along the way. How good does that sound? Don't wait. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and then what energy rebates you're eligible for. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the New Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced New Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the New Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best kept secret, and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your New Skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the New Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and